echoing through the marble halls of the Louvre like a ghost breaking centuries of silence. On the morning of August 21st, 1911, one of the world's most guarded treasures was gone. The Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci's most famous painting, had vanished without a trace. Within hours, France was in chaos. Guards froze in disbelief, curators collapsed in tears, and newspapers screamed the unthinkable. The Louvre has been robbed. The theft of the Mona Lisa wasn't just a crime. It was an act that would shake the very idea of art, fame, and national pride. What unfolded in the days and years that followed would turn an unknown painting into the most recognizable face on earth. And behind it all was a quiet, unassuming man, a worker who knew the museum better than anyone else. His name was Vincenzo Peruggia. To understand the theft, we must first understand the Louvre itself. In 1911, the Louvre was already the heart of French culture, a monument that held the masterpieces of human history, but it was also chaotic, poorly guarded, and shockingly unprepared for crime. Thousands of workers, painters, and restorers moved in and out of its halls every day. The idea that someone could steal a painting seemed absurd. Yet, that is exactly what happened. Peruggia was an Italian immigrant, small in stature, quiet, and often ignored by the museum's elite. He had come to France seeking work and stability. But as he cleaned and repaired the museum's glass cases, a dangerous idea began to take root. To him, the Mona Lisa wasn't just a painting. It was a stolen piece of Italy. Da Vinci was Italian after all. Peruggia came to believe, or convinced himself to believe, that the painting didn't belong in France at all. It belonged back home. On a quiet Monday morning, the Louvre's only day closed to the public, Peruggia acted. Wearing a white worker's smock identical to the museum staff uniform, he slipped inside the Salon Carré, lifted the small portrait from its hooks, and walked out through the employee exit. The world's most famous painting, hidden under a simple white cloth, passed unnoticed through the very doors that had promised to protect it. When the theft was discovered the next day, confusion turned to outrage. At first, even the museum staff refused to believe it. They assumed the painting had been removed for cleaning or photography. But as hours passed, denial gave way to panic. The Louvre shut down for an entire week, the first time in its history. Police swarmed the museum. Fingerprints were taken from every surface. Suspects included everyone from foreign tourists to famous artists. Even Pablo Picasso was brought in for questioning. Paris was gripped by hysteria. Newspapers sold out within hours. Crowds gathered outside the Louvre to stare at the empty space where the painting had hung. And in that void, something extraordinary happened. The Mona Lisa, once just one of many Renaissance portraits, became an icon. Her absence gave her power. Her smile, once serene and mysterious, became a symbol of loss, pride, and obsession. Meanwhile, Peruggia kept the painting hidden inside a false bottom of a wooden trunk in his small apartment, just a few blocks from the museum. For 2 years, he lived an ordinary life while the world searched desperately for what he alone possessed. The police interviewed him twice, never suspecting the quiet handyman who'd once helped install the glass protecting the painting. He told them he'd simply moved on to other jobs. They believed him. But in December 1913, the secret unraveled. Peruggia, believing he could finally return the painting to Italy and be hailed as a hero, contacted an art dealer in Florence. He claimed to be holding a lost masterpiece that he wanted to return to its homeland. The dealer, skeptical but intrigued, arranged a meeting. When Peruggia opened the trunk and revealed the Mona Lisa, the dealer's breath caught. He asked to keep the painting overnight for authentication and immediately called the police. Peruggia was arrested without resistance. When questioned, he insisted he had acted out of patriotism, not greed. He believed he was reclaiming Italy's stolen art, taken during Napoleon's conquests. But the truth was far simpler and far sadder. He was a man who wanted to matter, to be remembered. He saw in the Mona Lisa a way to give his life meaning. The trial captivated the world. Many Italians saw him as a hero who had defied French arrogance. The French saw him as a thief who had humiliated their nation. In the end, Peruggia was sentenced to just over a year in prison, serving only 7 months. When the Mona Lisa was returned to the Louvre in 1914, crowds wept at the sight of her. The painting was no longer just art, it was legend. That single act of theft transformed the Mona Lisa forever. Before 1911, she was admired by art historians. After 1911, she became a global obsession. People traveled across continents just to stand before her. Her image appeared in newspapers, posters, advertisements, even dreams. She was reborn, not through her beauty, but through her absence. And perhaps that is the strange truth at the heart of this story, that one man's crime gave the world's most famous painting her fame. Vincenzo Peruggia did not steal the Mona Lisa for money, and he did not steal her to destroy her. He stole her because he believed she was already stolen. And in doing so, he turned her into something no thief could ever take again, an eternal mystery. Today, more than a century later, millions stand before the glass that protects her smile. Most do not remember the man who carried her through the Louvre's doors in a simple white coat. But every photograph, every whisper of awe, every camera flash bouncing off her bulletproof case, all of it traces back to that one morning when the world awoke to find that even the greatest treasures are never truly safe. It wasn't just the theft of a painting. It was the theft of certainty, the moment the world realized that even in the heart of civilization, beauty could vanish in an instant, and that sometimes the power of art lies not in what it shows us, but in what it makes us feel when it's gone.